Today, I want to showcase a really cool LUXRAY deck that I saw win a tournament, and I decided to play around with it, change some cards in the list, and give you my version of it. Now, before I throw the deck list up, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, because on every single video until I run out, I'm giving away either a shiny Darkrai or a shiny Giratina. Your choice. Just let me know which one you want if I pick you. And here we go. Also, apologize. I had to shave for the jump for Halloween, and yeah, I just apologize to any women and children watching the channel that have to see this. Horrible times over here at Tilly Incorporated. All right, we got LUXRAY though, because we got a new LUXRAY that is pretty swag. It does 110 damage for just 2 energy, and will. You have to do 20 damage to one of your bench Pokemon after you use the attack. And you just saw there 2 very, very quick victories. One from the LUXRAY just popping off, having it in hand. Being able to deal 110 damage quickly is pretty aggressive for some decks. They just can't handle it. And then another, when a lot of decks see double Oricorio, they just kind of lose the game. So first thing I want to say is, for anyone who isn't going to be playing LUXRAY, maybe you're just here because you like the channel, but if you guys are building decks on your own, please put a counter to Oricorio in it, man. The meta is like all Oricorio right now. It is all Oricorio. All of the top decks are playing some sort of Oricorio in them. Even Darkrai Mega Absol decks are running Oricorio. Like, everything is. Please make sure you have a way to consistently deal with the dang bird, or you will be punished for it. Now, this deck takes full advantage of the fact that Oricorio is just really, really annoying right now in the meta. I will also say, you take a look at my list, the only cards that differ from the tournament winning list is they did not play a Giant Cape and they did not play a Copycat. They instead played a red card and an elemental switch. After playing games with this version, I tried out quite a few different cards. The only change I would want to make is maybe take out the Copycat for the red card, put the red card back in. But the elemental switch, I wasn't getting enough value out of to really justify keeping it in there. And I really like the Giant Cape because both of our LUXRAYs have 130 HP, which is just enough to get knocked out by a Mega Blaziken. And that's probably your hardest matchup with this deck. And so I like the Giant Cape to boost LUXRAY up to 150. It also just stops like any Mega from being able to one-shot LUXRAY. So I think the Giant Cape is like very, very valuable. Getting 2 turns of attacks out of your LUXRAY instead of just 1 and then it gets knocked out by a Mega is not the best. So I like having the Giant Cape in the list for that reason. You see me facing a Mega Ampharos deck. One of the like really great powers of this deck is the fact that you kind of have a really strong way to deal with either your opponent's Oricorio answers or their Oricorios themselves with the LUXRAY. So you can use the LUXRAY to aggressively knock out those Oricorios, or use the bench sniping LUXRAY. We play 1 copy of the discard all lightning energy attached to it, do 120 damage wherever you want. We can either knock out the Oricorios or the, like, I don't know, a Torchic that's trying to evolve up into a basic Blaziken. We can take those out, and then we just get to do, in the late game, stick our double Oricorio in the active spot, and there's not a whole lot that our opponent can do about it because we've taken out all of the Oricorio threats. We also have the 2 Zeraora. Just nice, like, to start with the Zeraora, get that free energy in play. Maybe just retreat out of the Zeraora and activate Volkner, get 1 energy into the discard early, or just straight up attack with the Zeraora, start putting some pressure down. And then we play 1 Cyrus. Very, very important. This deck does not knock out things quickly in the mid to late game, right? We're capped out at 120 damage. It's not going to do enough for really anything. Cool thing you can do is you can ping something on the bench with the LUXRAY and then Cyrus it the next turn with the and attack it with like an Oricorio or a Zeraora or something and just finish off that knockout and get yourself the game winning points there. Now here's another example, right? Like, dude, the ladder right now is so much lightning stuff. It's insane. It's a lot of lightning. It's a lot of Gyarados. and it is a lot of Mega Blaziken. Surprisingly, not a lot of Mega Altaria. I think that's because not a lot of people believed in Altaria, and a lot of people went ahead and opened up Blaziken because that was, you know, like the best looking Mega there was, and the Mega Gyarados pack had Gyarados and Mega Absol. Altaria had Altaria, which didn't seem like it would be really all that great, and Mega Ampharos, which also didn't seem like it'd be all that great. So I get why I'm not seeing a lot of Mega Altaria at the moment. It's still early, just not a lot of people open the pack. So there's a ton of Mega Gyarados, which this deck punishes insanely hard. I don't think I've lost to a Mega Gyarados yet with this deck. And Mega Blaziken, which it does struggle against a little bit, and I think the red card might help out, because in the Mega Blaziken matchup, you know what, we'll have a Mega Blaziken game towards the end that we'll talk about. It was a very lengthy game, and I'll go over all the intricacies I've found in that matchup. But like the copycat in some circumstances, right? Like it's great. I mean, my opponent here has 7 cards. Even in Blaziken, you know, they're going to have that Entei in the active spot. Their hand's probably going to be pretty big. Being able to copycat and just work to set up your guys is pretty good. Yeah, it's just nice to have like a third draw supporter in here. Oh, I will say I did try out May, because I looked at the list and I'm like, why would I not be playing May in a stage 2 deck? It's just, you know, this is what we do now, man. And honestly, in this deck, you kind of want like everybody you have. Like it's different from other stage 2 decks where like take Altaria that plays double Jirachi, double Chingling. Well, if you have one of those in hand, you probably don't need double Jirachi in play or double Chingling. With this deck, if you find your 2 Oricorios, you want both of them on the bench. If you find your 2 Shinx, you want both of them on your bench. The only thing that leaves for you to swap out with May is like a Zeraora, and if you find the Zeraora on turn 1, you're putting that on the bench. So there's not a lot of Pokemon that you don't want to just slam on the bench immediately. So you don't often have the Pokemon in hand that you're looking for to combo with that May. So I was not getting a lot of value out of the May. There were a couple games where, yeah, it did work out. Like I couldn't find a Shinx and I used the May, and I pulled 2 Shinx out of the deck with the May. But other than that, as far as like finding the evolution pieces, it hasn't been all that great, because I'm not interested in throwing back my Oricorios into the deck, because they are a big part of my win condition in most matchups. This deck will struggle against other 1-point decks for sure, like Hydreigon. Nah, if they get a Hydreigon setup, it's almost just wraps for you. I mean, and the way to think about that is it is a 1-point Pokemon that can deal with our big hitters better than we can deal with theirs. You know, Hydreigon's got 150 HP. It's going to do 130. You might be able to sneak a knockout in there if they use their ability. And then you have the Luxray that discards all energy, does 120. But for the most part, it's pretty low odds that that's going to happen. Your Oricorio doesn't get to slow them down at all. It's the same with like Silvali's stuff. Silvally would be a little bit better if it's not Rampardos, because you can snipe with Lux. Both of your Luxrays can knock out Silvali's, which is great. I haven't seen a lot of Silvally Rampardos anymore, and I haven't really been seeing it perform well in tournaments. The best 1-point decks I've been seeing have been Luxray and Hydreigon. Those are the 2 that are really doing the best right now in the current meta. But here we have a Gyarados game, right? And this matchup is very, very good for us, because their only answer to our Oricorios is the what is it called? The Milotic. But the Milotic only does 60 damage. Our Oricorios can 2-shot. We usually get at least 1, maybe 2 early points off of their Mantiques while they're trying to set things up. And then again, when the Milotic comes out, like, we're both 2-shotting each other. We have a lot of good attackers. We can also put the giant cape on our Luxray, and now it's not going to get knocked out in 1 hit by the Mega Gyarados. Like, I've had games I've won against Mega Gyarados where they get the Gyarados up really fast. I only have an Oricorio, and they mill me through my decks before I'm ever able to make a Luxray. but I still win because Oricorio can 2-shot the Mega Gyarados if they don't have any heal. Or sorry, 3-shot the Mega Gyarados if they don't have any heal. And once they retreat it, like, you can also just Cyrus it back up. I mean, it's a nightmare for Gyarados. Gyarados is really having a hard time with the Oricorio decks. And, you know, it might just be that Milotic is not the answer to it. I feel like you gotta just say, you know what, man, we do gotta play some other basic attacker. We don't want to, but we have to. Like, the Keldeo might not be a bad option to get into the list to deal with Oricorio, because Keldeo can deal with 2 Oricorios very easily. It's well, not very easily. I mean, it can't attack during the next turn, but it can get through 1, and then if you're playing like heavy repels and Sabrinas, then it's not going to be as much of a problem getting through that last one. But the Milotics, like, they do heal the Gyarados, and that's cool. But as far as dealing with Oricorios, it doesn't seem like they're doing enough quite yet. Because it's not, you know, you got to deal with the Oricorios, but you also have to deal with the the other attacker besides the Oricorio. And what you see I'm doing here is I'm looking at my opponent's board, and I'm saying, all right, the only thing I need at this point is to enable my LUXRAY to use Volt Bolt and knock out one of these Milotics or the Magikarp with the 120 snipe. So instead of attacking and letting my opponent come in with Mega Gyarados to knock out my Zeraora, I'm just going to retreat into Oricorio and say, like, you're not taking a point here. I just need 2 more turns of attachment, and I win with LUXRAY. And I'm actually going to show you something right here, a misplay in this game, because anytime I catch a misplay, I feel like it's good to talk about. And that's just going to be on this turn. On this turn, I attack with Oricorio into Milotic. I should have retreated into Zeraora and attacked with Zeraora, because if I had done that, my opponent would not have been able to knock me out with anything. Gyarados had 2 energy on it. He wasn't going to attack. Instead, I essentially gave my opponent a free point by letting them do this. So I think it would have been better to give me more turns to find my LUXRAY by retreating into it. But we end up, you know, my opponent just concedes because I have 2 energies on LUXRAY. They know they can do nothing about it. And that's the end of that game. Ultra rare cut in the video. These are usually 1 take, but something happened with my footage. I had to skip ahead a little bit. This is a very good game right here. This is against Mega Blaziken, so I want to talk about the intricacies that I have found from playing this matchup. Number 1, if your opponent is not playing an Entei variant of Mega Blaziken, you probably just lose. It's like impossible for this deck to get through a Mega Blaziken. Our way to win is to go around everything but the Mega Blaziken. Like, it's so rare that it could happen. You would have to do back-to-back LUXRAY attacks without them having a Lily, and that's really hard to put together. So what you want is you want that Entei for the first 2 points, and then try to find your win by sniping a Torchic or something. Like, ideally, what you would want to do is just stick an Oricorio in the active spot, start damaging the Entei, or whatever, an Oricorio or a Zeraora, either is fine, and start damaging the Entei, and either take that knockout, or if you have the opportunity to retreat into the LUXRAY that does 120, use that to snipe a Torchic before it becomes the baby Blaziken, and then just hope that you can either Volkner chain, get a second LUXRAY attack off on the Entei that you've already damaged, or get your Cyrus and knock out the Entei that way, because they can't heal the Entei. So every bit of damage you put on the Entei, you know it's staying there. It's not great to attack into either of the Blazikens, because they do have Lilies in this deck, and that really messes up our damage numbers. So you see here, I mean, I got double Oricorio, so I'm slamming it. I put the Giant Cape on the Shinx early because that is really the most valuable spot for it. What's going to happen is the Entei is going to start swinging into my Zeraora. Usually this is how they do it, because this deck only plays 1 copy of the Baby Blaziken, and it's kind of hard to find that early. If they find it early, you're in a horrible spot, but more often than not, they won't be coming across it early. So I'm gonna use research here, and again, as I was saying, like, you really want to be able to use the snipe LUXRAY. And I'm debating here, because again, there's a lot of decisions to make, right? Like, I could retreat into the Oricorio and swing with that instead. But my fear is always that the Baby Blaziken is coming, and I'm deciding that, you know, it's early on enough. Let's do this, because what I'm really thinking is, all right, I am going to evolve into this Luxray, because I'm worried that my opponent's going to bring out Baby Blaziken, knock out my Oricorio. If that happens, I'm going to want to start swinging with this Luxray, because here's like the worst case, right? This is the only way this game goes bad for me. My opponent, Rare Candy, evolves into Baby Blaziken. There is a very low chance that they have Rare Candy into Mega Blaziken as well. So what'll probably happen is, if they have it, they'll evolve, they'll retreat, you know, Flame Patch to it, and then I can attack into that Baby Blaziken twice, and then maybe my Oricorio can just finish off the game, and all the while, I'm waiting for a Cyrus on this Entei, because this Entei has 40 HP. I know that that's how I'm going to win the game, most likely, is by taking out that Entei. So that's why I decided to Rare Candy into this Luxray. Also, this deck just plays Mars, and if I get hit with a Mars with 4 cards in hand, while I already have Volkner and the Rare Candy Luxray combo, I'm going to feel really, really sad. So I elect to go for the unoptimal Luxray in this matchup for the most part. Like, usually it's not the one you want. But as soon as they evolve into the Baby Blaziken, it's sort of, it makes it tough anyways. And now my opponent actually leaves the Entei in the active spot, probably just doesn't have the other Flame Patch because they've already used one. And I decide, you know what, I'm going to use the Volkner for just 1 energy, because I need to make sure that my energy I'm keeping up with my energy attachments, because this Baby Blaziken is going to knock out my Oricorio. Next turn, I'm going to attack with Luxray, and I need to power up that Oricorio in case Mega Blaziken comes out to sort of buy me some time. Because now that I've taken out Entei, the way I see this game going is me using Cyrus on this Baby Blaziken, right? That's probably how I'm going to win this game. My opponent's thinking because I only have 2 cards, and he uses Mars, and I'm so happy because I have nothing in my hand, and I end up getting Rare Candy. So that's one of the 2 cards I already have, which, you know, seems like it's pretty low odds, but with these Mars, seems to happen quite often where you get the same hand afterwards. So my Oricorio goes down. I'm going to send up the Luxray and just swing for 110. And even better, I top deck a Pokeball, right? And get to I got the same hand off the Mars pretty much, bro. How does that happen? But I just go for the Flash Impact, and I'm going to put the 20 on the Zeraora, because he has 30 HP. Like, it doesn't matter, man. I'm leaving the bench spot open for the other Shinx, but 20 damage on that Zeraora doesn't matter. It matters on the Oricorio because Combuskin can hit for 50. And if my opponent doesn't have a way to heal this Blaziken this turn, he's going to have to retreat it, so, like, he doesn't lose the game. Because Oricorio is going to do 50, Luxray is going to do 110, because nothing in his deck can actually one-shot the Luxray when it has a giant cape on it, which is very, very nice. I think my opponent played a Rare Candy and then had to think about it quite a lot. I'm not positive why. Maybe he's running double Baby Blaziken. Could be. Honestly, could be the strat with how much Oricorio is going around. I would not blame you for playing 2 Baby Blaziken and 2 Mega Blaziken. Not at all. I think that's completely reasonable to do, given how this meta is shaping up in the early game. And he just retreats in a Mega Blaziken with no Flame Patch, must not have had it, in order to stall. So now, I'm looking pretty good. I didn't get attacked this turn, and I end up researching into Luxray and Luxray and Shinx, and I already had the Rare Candy. So now I'm going to do 20 to the Oricorio. I think this was a misplay. I think I could have put 20 on the Shinx. That 20 damage, again, wouldn't have been relevant at any point. I don't have a second giant cape. I guess I don't have to worry about Combuskin either. So no matter what, actually, the damage wasn't relevant anywhere for how my opponent's deck is built. Most likely, the 20 damage didn't matter. All that mattered is that I didn't use it to knock out my own Zeraora, because that would mean my opponent would just be a Sabrina away from winning. And he goes Lily on the Mega Blaziken. And that, again, this is fine because my opponent's not going to knock out my Luxray in 1 turn. This is why I think the cape is so important. Luxray's not going to get knocked out. I am now free to retreat into the Oricorio and just attach to the other Shinx. But I top deck Cyrus, so I'm just able to get the knockout there. But even if I hadn't, all I do is I go Rare Candy, Luxray, attach to it, take a turn off from attacking, and then I can snipe that Baby Blaziken on the bench and win the game that way. So, hey, the deck is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this Luxray variant. I love 1-point decks, and this one has been a great time. I think it's actually pretty good into this meta game. I'm having so much fun with it. You beat a lot of the mega decks. Blaziken is just the one hard one because they have a pretty good answer that you cannot deal with after it attacks, right? Like Altaria, if they play the baby Altaria, well, if it knocks out an Oricorio, you can knock out the baby Altaria, and then they kind of can't, they also can't knock out the Luxray in return. Gyarados, same thing. So Blaziken's like the one tough matchup, and then Absol isn't fantastic. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic because they have all the hand disruption, and their Oricorios can knock out your Oricorios if they attach 2 energy to it and then start Darkrai pinging. Then they're doing net 70 damage every turn. But yeah, hey, super fun deck. Let me know if you give it a try. Comment so you can have a chance to win the Shiny Giratina or Shiny Darkrai. Subscribe. See you on the next one.